Welcome back, everybody. You won't want to miss this innovative video. Things have been getting hotter if you've been watching the XRP versus SWIFT struggle. We're delving into the significant change in global finance today as RippleNet stealthily replaces established banking institutions. The most startling aspect is that it's taking place in front of our very eyes, and the banks that placed bets against XRP are frantically trying to set things right. Panic purchase of XRP by banks, widespread institutional grabs, and a change in liquidity worldwide. What is the meaning of it all? Will XRP actually reach $10,000? This is the revolution you've been waiting for, so keep an eye out. Now let's go right to the point. A significant change is occurring in the financial landscape that many people were not prepared for. The financial industry has been impacted by Ripple's XRP, but this is more than a minor hiccup. RippleNet is quickly becoming the SWIFT killer in this full-on takeover. Although XRP's promise has been spoken about for years, we are finally beginning to see tangible proof that the dream is coming true. 43 of the biggest institutions in the world, including industry titans like BNP Paribas, Santander, and Bank of America, have moved to using RippleNet for cross-border payments in recent months. This is now fact rather than idle speculation. Currently, up to 60% of these banks' foreign transfers are handled via XRP. This is a huge deal that is causing a stir in the financial community. Why this is such a game changer may be on your mind. To begin with, Ripple is rapidly displacing SWIFT, which has had a virtual monopoly on international payments for decades. SWIFT's conventional methods are costly, cumbersome, and slow. These banks now have quick, safe, and affordable options for their international transactions thanks to RippleNet and XRP. Instead of days, you're talking about billions of dollars being transferred in a matter of seconds. XRP's efficiency lies not just in speed, but also in lowering the cost of international transactions. RippleNet is at the forefront of this transformation that is taking shape. Let's now discuss the numbers. A record-breaking institutional grab of XRP occurred in July. In a single month, an astounding 3.5 billion XRP were removed from exchanges, making it the biggest institutional grab in history. Retail investors are not purchasing XRP in anticipation of a rapid pump. Because they envision the future, the major players, or institutional investors, are acquiring enormous quantities of XRP. These whales are putting themselves in a position to benefit from XRP's potential as the liquidity of the future. The pattern is obvious. With XRP at its core, institutions are solidifying their position in the New World Order. When discussing XRP hitting $10,000, it's critical to comprehend why this lofty goal is no longer just a pipe dream. XRP is establishing itself as the main option for international payments as the demand for liquidity increases rapidly. XRP's market capitalization will be unheard of if it turns into the global liquidity backbone. For comparison, the market value of gold is $15 trillion. So why is XRP unable to reach a market valuation of $100 trillion? It is not impossible for XRP to surpass all traditional assets in terms of valuation if it is to drive global finance in the future. XRP is the financial infrastructure of the future, not simply another cryptocurrency. Let's now discuss one of the key driving forces behind this whole situation: SWIFT's weakness. SWIFT is in a difficult situation as an increasing number of banks are switching from the SWIFT network to RippleNet. The massive financial messaging company has been losing ground in the global payments market, and they are beginning to see that Ripple's technology is displacing them. The most recent development? SWIFT has urgently proposed a cooperation with Ripple. There's a catch, though. The plan is scheduled to expire this Friday, and it's very probable that Ripple will carry on without them after that. SWIFT is aware that banks are already making the change and that they are peering in from the outside. SWIFT's proposal for a cooperation with Ripple is effectively their final effort to catch up. Here's the issue, though. It is too late and too little. Because they understand that the financial landscape is changing, banks who previously bet against cryptocurrency are suddenly scurrying to implement Ripple's technology. RippleNet's adoption rate is increasing, and XRP has already demonstrated its worth in the real world. In actuality, SWIFT is currently rushing to find a means to remain relevant since they have been too sluggish to innovate and adjust to the shifting landscape. Ripple, however, has been in the forefront for years, and it's paying off handsomely. Let's now zoom out and consider the wider picture. We are discussing a significant change in how money is handled globally. The adoption of XRP is not limited to banks. It is being woven into the fundamental structure of international banking. Furthermore, adoption is not limited to the West. It's worldwide. Partnerships with Ripple are expanding from Europe to Asia and the Middle East. Financial organizations and nations who were previously dubious about cryptocurrency are now using Ripple's technology because they recognize its potential. XRP is the token that drives Ripple's efforts to establish itself as the world standard for cross-border payments. This leads us to XRP's pricing. Demand for XRP will rise as adoption increases. Additionally, prices increase in tandem with demand. However, this is more than mere conjecture. Real utility is at issue here. Banks, payment processors, and other financial organizations are using XRP to address practical issues. This increasing demand will be reflected in XRP's pricing, and XRP's price might easily hit $10,000 and higher if it turns out to be the worldwide liquidity solution. The financial system is undergoing a paradigm transition, and XRP is at the forefront of this change. The part whales play in this is also worth mentioning. Institutions are acquiring XRP for more reasons than only securing a place in the market. They are placing a wager on the future. XRP is positioned to take the lead in the global payment industry. The whales are aware of this. They are subtly amassing enormous quantities of XRP, laying the groundwork for the upcoming significant price spike. Such action is a blatant indication that XRP's price is about to skyrocket. When whales make bulk purchases, they are setting themselves up for the long-term revolution rather than only forecasting a temporary price increase. Additionally, the price of XRP will only rise as more organizations use RippleNet. Here's the catch, though. Even while whales are buying a lot of XRP, there have been less new addresses and regular investors joining the market. This suggests that although institutional interest is increasing, retail investors are still holding out for additional information before making a move. But more ordinary investors will probably join the bandwagon as the price begins to rise and the momentum increases, which will drive up the price of XRP even more. Everyone is now wondering what will happen next. Swift and Ripple's proposed alliance is about to expire, and once it does, there won't be any going back. As the global financial system transitions to decentralized and blockchain-based solutions, Ripple will keep expanding and XRP's value will keep rising. XRP is the foundation of the future of international payments, and the question is not whether it will reach $10,000, but rather when. Banks lost their wagers against cryptocurrency. XRP is transforming the financial industry and is here to stay. Congratulations! If you own XRP, you are holding the financial future. If you're not, this is your chance to join before it's too late. Remember to subscribe, like, and comment. Let's continue this discussion. What are your thoughts? Is XRP the financial industry's future? How much can be charged? Please share your ideas in the comments section. I appreciate you seeing, and I hope to see you in the next film. Notice: this movie is solely intended for informational and educational reasons. It isn't financial guidance. Before making any investing decisions, please conduct your own research and speak with a financial advisor.